Amit sir.
It's because the press wanted to do push-ups.
So-
Everybody is so inspired to be healthy and fit today. Imagine the press wanted to do push-ups. That's fantastic.
Yeah, they had an incentive to click a photo.
We all need incentives. I think that's what the discussion is about.
Yeah, that's what we were discussing before. Like, how can we incentivize people to stay healthy, right? So, yeah. So, I think yeah, where to start? So, yeah, we'll start the fireside chat with Milind. I'll ask a few questions. So we have, I mean, Milind sir doesn't need any introduction. I think he's a fitness icon of our country, and he has inspired multiple generations. Many Gen Zs know you because of they might be your fans because of four more shorts, but but for millennials, especially for people like me, I think we became your fan watching Captain Vyom on Doordarshan. Yeah. So I don't know how many have watched, but it used to
And
be
also the naked teacher.
it used to be very famous. Where I mean, in our young days, it was Doordarshan, and I was just wondering that Elon Musk is copying Captain Vyom. Trying to like go on Mars and all. Yeah. But anyways, so we have HR leaders here today, and HR leaders have deeper connection with employees, and they play a very important role in, and they are aligned on the fact that employees should be healthy for the corporates. So, so majority of the question I'll ask a few questions, and 4 or 5 of them will be around how can we stay healthy. I think everyone wants to know from you, like what's your take on being healthy, happy in life, and also how employers can sort of uh, enable their employees to stay healthy and happy as well overall, right? So I have a few questions written. Sorry, I'll use my phone. Okay, so first, like first few questions will be focused on our own individual health. We all are employees at the end of the day, right? So you were a swimmer, like you started swimming at the age of 6, right? And you were you represented India also. Not many people know that you won a medal for India in swimming in Nepal in Kathmandu, right? So you have been in fitness since then. What inspires you every day to stay fit and healthy?
So I was lucky, like you said, I started swimming competitively very early. And kind of feeling that you have about yourself and about life when you're fit is a feeling that can't be explained. So when you have that feeling when you're young and you're focused on that feeling, so of course all children run around and they play and they're so happy all the time, but they're not focused on that feeling. The reason that I was focused is because I was competitive, and fitness had to be something that I had to maintain so that I could train well and I could achieve my goal. So my connection with myself was enhanced. I understood that connection. The connection with my mind, the connection with my body, how my body functions, how my body can do better, how my mind can do better. What are the things I need to do or pay attention to so that my body and mind function in a way I can achieve my goals easier. I was able to understand that at an early age. Most people don't understand that. They go through school and then college and maybe a little bit of sports and games. But by the time they're about, say, 30 or 35 and maybe kind of settled in their careers, they begin to realize that the body is aging very, very quickly. The kind of illnesses that you get become more frequent. The kind of illnesses that you get become more serious. And because they haven't had any connect with themselves from an early age, they don't know what to do about it. And so they kind of push it into the background. Because, of course, the priorities that they have at that time are different. You're focused on your career, you're focused on your job, you're focused on your designation and on your salary. And it requires thought. How do I create a healthy lifestyle for myself? How do I get fit? How do I have a good lifestyle? How do I enjoy life? something that you have no time to think about because you're so focused on your job and now, of course, also on your family, probably, that you feel that this is something that is not only taking up too much time, but you don't even know where to start. You don't know where to start. So, of course, on the other side, if you see that in India, running has become very popular. Running has become extremely popular. Thousands and thousands of people are starting to run every day. India has one of the fastest growing running populations in the world, which is a big difference from our traditional culture where we don't really do sport or exercise or fitness or anything like that. More and more people in India begin to run. But the important thing is those runners are corporate employees. So on the one hand, you feel that corporate employees say they don't have time. On the other side, they are comprising one of the fastest growing running populations in the world. So finally, what it comes down to is an awareness that this is something I need to do. And the second thing is, it is possible. It is, in fact, easy. If you make the right choices, the right decisions, you prioritize your time in a way that you can manage to incorporate healthy lifestyle into your busy corporate life, it is possible. And just to let you know from my experience, it doesn't take a lot of time. Even in fact, to start, you can start with 1 minute. And then when it comes to nutrition, we all know what food is good for us and what is bad. That we can read it, people talk about it all the time. We don't need to cut out really anything from our life. We can minimize the bad stuff and maximize the good stuff. So according to me, what is the bad stuff? Refined food, packaged food, and processed food. Minimize that. Eat more of fresh food, whole food, and home cooked food. If you do even that much, there will be a big difference in your nutrition.
Yeah, a very valid point that you made around like, I mean, most of us didn't get into sports as because it's not in our, as you said, it's not much in our culture. Right? To, I mean, of course, we play around in schools, but we don't link it with, as you said, that with health. But now most of us here are in, like, probably in our adult age.
Group B.
Group B, yeah. So, and probably I'm assuming most of us didn't connect the way you did. So, and we live in Bangalore.
Which is also the running capital of the country.
Yeah.
Did you know that? More people in India run in Bangalore than any other city.
Wow. Yeah.
And also most tech companies are in Bangalore. So there has to be a big correlation there. So in fact, that's not a good example for people who want to start a healthy and fit lifestyle. But other corporate employees are the better example because they have the same lifestyle. They have the same responsibilities, they have the same duties, they have the same demands on their time. So, what would be good is to create a profile of people who belong to the same profile that we are targeting and say, if they can do it, why can't you? And if we study how they do it, then we can replicate that.
Yeah. So, follow-up question to it, right? We have a 9 hours uh, job at office in Bangalore.
Only.
Yeah.
HR, what is only?
We travel in Bangalore traffic 1 hour one way for 10 kilometers, and we get really tired when we are back to home. Right? So it takes almost like 11, 12 hours, and then we go to sleep. How do we find time?
If you actually go to sleep, it's a good thing.
Yeah, but like, what's your suggestion for people for having who have that kind of a lifestyle? Try to find time to stay fit.
So I exercise about 10 minutes a day, like I mentioned. I also run, but not every day. I run whenever I have time, and I run for as much time as I have. So my running is not designed for me to become fit or to lose weight or anything like that. I run because I enjoy running. But there are certain exercises that I do, which I have realized are important for me. Those exercises take about 7 to 8 minutes every day, which is not a lot. 7 or 8 minutes. Is that allowed?
We need to document what the
We need to document how to arrive and which are the exercises to do. Because like I mentioned, these are the important exercises for me. For different people, there will be different exercises. So let me explain that all of us have certain strengths and weaknesses. Whether it's physical, whether it's mental, whether it's emotional, all of us have some strengths, all of us have some weaknesses. Through self-awareness, we have to identify what are our weaknesses. And of course, our strengths we are aware of generally. We need to celebrate those more. But the weaknesses we need to work on. Just work on the weaknesses. Whether it's mental, you feel I'm not able to focus, I'm not able to concentrate, I'm not able to make choices quickly, I'm not able to prioritize. These are mental faculties that you need to develop. Mental discipline. When I see something that is not so exciting to do, but it has to be done, do I have the discipline to do it? Even that discipline to build is possible over a period of time. So identify those weaknesses and begin to work on them. Spend 5 minutes on them every day. That's all you need to start.
Yeah. So a follow-up question to it. Of course, you mentioned that Bangalore is earning capital. People are moving towards fitness. So I was reading yesterday that almost 212 million people in India have diabetes, and 50% of them are not even aware of that, which is more than 10% of the population, I guess. Right? So that's a massive number, 1.6 billion people, right? So uh, a question to you around this is that I think most of us, we have jobs, we're salaried employees. Around 7 crore people file ITRs, they're salaried employees. And how can employers enable their employees to stay healthy and happy? Uh, that's a question for you. And then I'll ask a follow-up question. Sometimes, and the question is, follow-up question to it is that sometimes we don't even have budget. Right? I mean, smaller companies I'm talking about, probably you might have some answer to it, but we might not have budget.
You have to hire fitter people. I mean, in fact, you do hire people who are fit for the job. So this is part of it, I would say. So even when potential job seekers find out that companies will insist on a certain level of physical fitness as well, or a certain kind of health profile as well, they will work on that and not just their educational qualification. But this is something that people don't know, and this is something that corporates don't insist on as a rule. There are some corporates who do. Most corporates do not. So even when they're looking for an employee, they should put it out as a profile. That this is something that we're looking at in terms of your health profile. You have to present your health profile along with your educational qualification. Because it is something that the individual has to work on. Like they work on their educational qualification. Why do they not work on their health profile? Because they think it's not important. The employer has not given the importance. And if the employer is willing to put money on it later, then the employee will say, okay, you're putting money, you didn't ask me. So I think that is a good start where even employers look for a better profile, not just for educational qualifications, but also in terms of health.
Yeah, and probably incentivizing as well.
So now, of course, we're talking about new employees. Now, of course, you can't start firing all your old employees because they're sick. You can't, right? I mean, your HR people, you can't. So what you have to do is, why don't people take care of their health? Everybody understands that health is important. Everybody wants to be healthy. It's conceptual. Of course, we want. Nobody's going to say, no, I want to be unhealthy. The problem is they don't know where to start. They have no idea. The biggest issue is, I think, when we talk about health care, we are providing health care. It is already too late. You are not providing health care, you are providing disease management. Healthcare means empowering the employee to take care of their own health so they do not fall sick. Now, how do you do that? They don't know what to do. You have to tell them that for 1 minute every day, you have to do this. And that could be a start of a workout. It could be a warm-up. This warm-up, it could be a 5-minute warm-up, a 3-minute warm-up, 7-minute warm-up. There are many on the internet today. And you say, this is something, very simple movements that anybody can do, is what you start with every day. You don't need to join a gym. You don't need to. You can. It can help you, but you don't need it. What do you need? You need to do certain movements every day, and these movements you can even do at home. I will give you my own example. I have never been to the gym in my life. I think it's a waste of money for me. I would rather spend that money somewhere else. And maybe even the employer can. So if you give them a system that they can do at home, then maybe they will know, okay, we can start with this. It's not too difficult, doesn't take up too much time. I can do it anywhere. I can do it at home. And the second thing is, you evaluate according to that. Maybe on one day in a year, and you have a sports day or something, everybody does that movement, which is easy. They don't have to run 100 meters or do 400 meters or whatever people do on sports day, which is very challenging and it's competitive. This is not competitive. This you do to complete a certain set of movements at your own pace, comfortably. If you can do that, then you get some kind of incentive. That's what I think.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you, sir. I think we'll wrap up.
Oh, that's it.
With my questions, so we will love. I'll request people in the audience to ask the questions, please. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you, Sanchit. So we are currently exploring employee benefits providers. So could you share like how do you differentiate yourself from other benefits providers like some benefits, functionality, and
Yeah. So I wanted to say this. Yeah. So basically, what we have done is we have done deeper API level integrations with the insurance service providers. We have launched a Flex module, which helps you provide more flexibility to your employees. You can give like 2, 3 types of coverages to your employees and let the employees choose. That is a very strong differentiator that we have built as a platform, which gives more flexibility to choose to your employees. So what you can do is you can give 3 plans, for example. You can give with employee only, employee spouse kids, or employee spouse kids and parents. Then you create a wallet for the employee to like you can set the budget. Like if your budget is say 40,000 rupees or 30,000 rupees per employee, then employee goes on the platform, right? Then, for example, if my parents are already covered in some insurance plan, I can take only for my spouse and kids. And whatever the leftover budget is, then I can go for say healthcare membership, for health checkup plan, or doctors on call, which or probably a mental therapist plan as well. So you set the budget. We give you more flexible options to choose from. That itself, we feel is a very strong differentiator that we have built, and we have been serving a few customers on that already.
Is that good? Is it good?
and that's why we have Pazcare and not done.
Without knowing this is now they should give you double money.
My next question is to you, Milind. So your fitness icon, we were all running, swimming, you've never been to the gym. So, what are your views on technology like apps and trackers? You think in fitness, like how do you view them, their role in fitness? Do you think they're just facts and trends emerging in the health space, or do you think they're really helpful, useful?
It's really useful. See, they can be. Like I don't really use the fitness trackers. I'm wearing a Garmin right now. I'm an ambassador. But and it is helpful. I usually track my heart rate because of my at the age of 60, I feel that my heart rate is the most important factor that I need to monitor. So I don't let it go above a certain value. But for everybody else, again, I would say too much is not good to get too obsessed with parameters. But if there is a need, like I perceive this need, I say, okay, I love to run. Maybe in my excitement, I'll do too much. So I have to kind of try to curb it a little bit. So depending on what your need is, you can use a tracker or any kind of device or technology that you require. So it also depends on the end goal. It always depends on the end goal. Why do you need the device?
You have seen like people people, weighing their food before eating 100 grams.
Maybe they
200 grams.
need to do it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
there are all the people have all kinds of advice today. There's all kinds of information on the net. And now you have to try to see what works for you. Again, shouldn't follow it blindly, I would say. I would tell people don't follow what I do blindly. Also, it's there on Instagram. But even if you want to copy it, try it gradually. But it's the same thing with the diets and with the workout plans and everything. Get into it very gradually. The key is self-awareness. Like I said, the first step towards getting healthy and to getting fit is self-awareness. What is my body and mind doing right now? And what do I want it to do in the future? And when I adopt something, some activity or some diet or whatever it is, how is it affecting me day to day? It's important to know. So when it comes to measurement, it is a very detailed, monitoring system. So you can actually get some information from that, which can help you. I would just say don't get obsessed.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, so this is the Sanchit. Firstly, congratulations. I think you're doing fabulously in this space. And the Flexi Wallet is a great game changer. I think you're right, it's your differentiator. But as a HR leader in smaller startups that usually don't have too much budget to offer these kinds of things, right? A basic traditional insurance plan is usually preferred by a lot of startups. So what have you seen as adoption for Flexi Wallet and how economical do you think it is for startups that are slightly cash strapped?
Yeah, actually, uh, uh, so this actually brings a lot of flexibility to the employer also, right? So I want to offer mental plan. I want to offer gyms as well, and I want to offer. Sorry, you're against it, but yeah, you want to offer say multiple benefits. I want to offer parental cover also, but I don't have the budget. So you set the budget. Say your budget is only say 10,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees per employee per year. Uh, when the employee goes on the platform and they sign up, they can plug in their own money, which you can deduct from their salary. So, but in one size fits all, you have the pressure because employees, I mean, previous generation didn't buy insurance. So our parents are not very well covered and they don't get coverage today because they are senior citizens now, right? Even if you don't have the budget, you can still facilitate it through this platform, the wallet platform that we have built. Will give you flexibility, and then I mean, employees can pay from their pocket a little bit. That should be okay.
That's great.
So we'll take last two questions and then we'll close.
I'm not against gyms. I don't prefer.
I take my words back.
Great to be clear as to what is all going on. Great to see Milind being there. Agency being last 35 years or so. This journey started with production and a lot of things happens in last 35 years. Made in India still have hot memories. Star Plus started with a lot of English-based serials which were very new for India. Of course, so many things, Iron Man and Truck Man. And one thing always intrigued me is white hair and no shoes. I know a lot of history, but I want to hear from you. I mean, what was the trigger point that stopped wearing shoes? Or maybe it's not needed to that extent. You have
And hair,
been
what
59
hair?
years old now. We said we are turning 60 now, but
Yeah.
at least you never try to change, remove your beards and white hair, making it a defining age, and still you're showcasing that. Still at 60, I'm still a very young. How you have been maintaining it, and from where the inspiration is?
So I'll go with the easy question first. I started running about 22, 23 years ago. I started running with shoes. About 15 years ago, I had finished a 20-kilometer run in the hills outside Bombay, and my feet were feeling a little bit tired. So I just took off my shoes and I was walking in my socks. And while I was walking in my socks, somehow I felt kind of refreshed. So I said, it's interesting, this feeling. So I did a little bit more, just walking. And then I started running a little bit. And the next day I said, let me try running without shoes. And I felt that it was actually changing the way I was running, my technique, balance, coordination. So I started running more and more. And I really felt that it was making my run more efficient. And also my recovery was faster. And my feet didn't feel as tired. So then I completely switched to barefoot running. It took me about a year and a half to do a half marathon again, and one more year after that to do a full marathon. So extremely gradually, my changeover was very, very, very gradual. But since then, I have always preferred to be barefoot. And I do wear shoes sometimes if it's in the snow or in the ice or maybe in the desert and it's too hot and my feet can't take the heat of the sand. I will choose a pair of shoes. But otherwise, I prefer barefoot. The hair, if someone pays me to color it, I do. Otherwise, why would I? But yeah, that's the main reason. I don't. I probably the reason I think people try to change or keep it darker or whatever, they think maybe they're not going to get work. Maybe, especially the profession I'm in. It has to do a lot to do with youth. And so these are symbols of youth, hair color, and hair also. So I have hair anyway. So that's one thing I managed. But let's see if it affects me. Maybe I'll think of something. If it doesn't affect, then I'm very happy. So over the years, I felt that people appreciated it more, and I also realized that the youth is not about the color of your hair. It's about your attitude. It's about the way you see life. And if people also realize that about themselves, they will not go for these kind of cosmetic changes. Because I know a lot of people who are over the age of 70 and 80, but are so young in their attitude. And that is what counts. And those are the inspiring people. Those are the people you want to be like. You don't want to be like 80-year-old people with black hair. You don't want that. You want to be like an 80-year-old person who's climbing mountains. Yeah? That's how it is.
Like you talk about mother's Steve.
Yes.
Mother's Steve.
Yeah.
So much very inspiring. One input for splitting of. So I'm a co-founder, started my company 5 years. First 4 years, we are struggling to get up. Every year we used to change because struggle never ended. Somebody asked some press question about possible, so I want to answer that one. But could not get a chance. Last company before we took Pazcare was Policy Visa. I run a company where majority people are very much connected with digital world. Nobody wants to send a mail to HR. HR does not have time to respond to so many mails, floating here and there. Subject name, people changes here and there. Everything gets lost in mail. Then came this refreshing. We realized that last 11 months has been a great story for us. And we have been taking care of my Pazcare team and everything. And obviously, it's up for renewal next month. Discussion already started. I don't have any reason. That's what I'm keep telling other competitors who are after me. I don't have any reason to change Pazcare. So, Pazcare, I'm going to Pazcare disprove that in next 1 month, which I will see. Okay. I don't have any reason to change. They have very good set of people in the front as well for taking care of my employees. They're available over phone, they're available over WhatsApp, they're available all the time. So I want to appreciate the entire Pazcare team on this platform. Great initiative. We celebrate.
We'll just take one last question. Sanjit, to you.
Yes, sir.
What are the plans, or are there any plans that Pazcare has to cover international employees for these who are global
Yeah, ma'am. So we have been able to provide, I mean, at a smaller scale, to you in US, at Gulf countries, uh, and UK and Indonesia at a smaller level. For
We
your
do cover.
yes, ma'am. So we are able to help you out
Okay.
at a smaller level. Yes, we are on the part to scale it up. As
We
well.
have recently, reactivated the entire setup of Pazcare. Yesterday only, I guess, yesterday we reviewed the plan. So I
Sure.
wish to Sanjit, I want to ask one question to you. What inspires you to run such long hours with a smile on your face? And that is
People like
the
my smile.
indeed dedication. But from an employee point of view, like what would
So you want the employees also to work long hours while smiling?
can you have it?
And you want me to? So sorry, was that the question? No, what's the question?
That's no more a question.